whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. It's Sunday, so I kind of get to get away from my usual format and talk about something a little more personal. Let me set the stage for you. I have a medical therapist. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it's for, um, but I can say it's something I do need treatment for, and regular treatment at that. I've been with this particular agency who's supposed to be looking after me for a couple years now. And as they run me through various programs, I'll admit they're doing a very good job overall. But it takes time. Once you're in one program, they have like 14 weeks. I'm making that up because that's what this program is supposed to be. And it's weekly, it's intensive, and you are participating. I suppose you could sit back and do nothing, but the point is you're supposed to be participating with your therapist and not just sitting there like a lump. They want you to be working and making improvements to yourself. I got no problem with that. It hasn't resulted in massive improvements to me, but at the same token, it has allowed me certain tools that I can use to make my life a little more bearable. Now, not recently, last November, I was transferred onto a supervisor. And this supervisor had looked over my case and said, oh, the therapy they've been using is okay, but there's this other kind of therapy. I'm not going to go into it because I don't understand the differences myself, not because of lack of trying, but unfortunately I have a highly analytical mind, and as soon as I understand something, my brain starts to, pick it apart, and I'll start reading, and they want you to kind of go in blind. So that way you're not anticipating what they're going to do next. It would be like, having a quarterback knowing exactly what the defense was going to do. It wouldn't be fair. So I'm trying to be good with these programs and let the therapists lead, which is their job. And this is where we start to get a problem. So, since November, I'm supposed to have had weekly sessions, which means I should have 12 sessions in by now. And I already saw where they were going with this because the therapist kind of let something go. And I don't blame her. There, I'll say it's a her. That narrows you down to what, 50% of the population, 52 point whatever percent it is. So I'm not worried about giving out any PI here. Personal information for those of you that aren't used to that expression. Our problem is 6 of those sessions she emailed me and said she was sick and couldn't do the therapy. I'm sympathetic to that. Let me come back to that. A lot of those she can't. A lot of the rest of them she canceled because she had administrative conflicts. She was in a meeting, whatever it is. Again, this is a supervisor. I'm a very forgiving person. Sickness, who am I to judge what sickness is and what sickness is not? And also, you're a therapist. You've got to kind of be at the top of your game because a person can tell you anything at any time. They read this long disclaimer like every time I start a new program that's like, uh, we have to be there to catch you if you admit to, wanting to hurt somebody or anything like that. And it's all logical and it's all good. But my question is, as a former employer, as a former contractor, as a former employer of contractors, having 3 sessions out of 12 is simply unacceptable. Now, cosmically, this does work out to my advantage. It doesn't really because she's trying to shift the times, and I've picked my times for a purpose. I know when I have time. I know what's going on. She's trying to shift it to Friday at 9 a.m. Now, it's not like I'm not awake at Friday at 9 a.m. I know I haven't warmed up my body, my brain, etc. And any therapy session is going to do more damage than anything good it's going to do. And due to factors that I'm not willing to explain, it's just a horrible time for me. We're negotiating back to 11 o'clock, but then we can't pin down a date. And I don't mind switching the date. The fact that she's sick on so many Mondays indicates to me there's another problem going on. And that's why I'm not calling her out for being sick. I think, though, my best course of action, instead of this pussyfooting around for weeks, because again, she couldn't do our Monday sessions. Monday at 1 o'clock worked very well for me, but not for her. Okay, that's a negotiable point. But then her blocking off all afternoons and saying it can only be on Mondays. I have things to do in this world as well. And I want treatment. Because I can fake being normal for a certain amount of time, but not 100% of the time. And that's why I need their help. And I understand as a supervisor, she has responsibilities. And if her bosses are willing to put up with her attendance record, who am I to criticize it? But what I'm thinking in my head is to write a letter. Well, an email. This is 2024. You don't write letters anymore. But just something that says, you know, I, I think you're a very competent therapist, and I believe she is. I mean, she's being promoted, and when I'm when I'm in an actual session, she seems to know everything that she needs to know. She's professional. She's very goal oriented. I have a tendency to wander when I talk, in case you haven't guessed. And yeah, she's very good at keeping the subject on point. And believe me, my talking is a defense mechanism. That's why I make stupid jokes sometimes. Is it's my way of diffusing a situation, and she pulls us back to get back to the activity that we're supposed to do, instead of me BSing, which is my way of killing the clock, honestly. And she sees through that. But there's not a lot of people qualified for this particular therapy because it's not common. And I'm wondering whether it's worth my time to request another person, because how many people are going to be able to perform the same service? And I'm purposely not getting into it because you don't need to know. You just need to know the facts. Now, the facts are, like I said, she's good at what she does. Good enough to be promoted despite her attendance. And maybe it's better to find a less high management person to do the exact same thing, because she's obviously stretched for time. And if she's trying to block me off into this time now, there's two ways I can do this. I can write the letter now and be very complimentary. Trust me, you know that old saying about you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar? It's 100% true. I'm not going to insult her. Like I said, I think she's highly competent. Um, there's nothing she has ever said or done to me that's made me say, this girl doesn't know what she's doing. No, she's highly effective. So you write accordingly. I believe that, you're very good. I would love to retain my services with you, but given our time conflicts, maybe it's best if we could find another person to take on this responsibility. Because if you write, I hate you, I want somebody else, it's not going to work. And trust me, throwing in that little compliment makes them happier. When I'm on the phone with the telecom provider or the bank or anything like that, just a couple compliments makes the person a hell of a lot more willing to help you. I was trying to negotiate with my bank was something I knew existed, but they kept pushing me back and pushing, even though I was being polite. And I finally got the one person, and I just, you know, shot the shit with him for lack of better, and got him around. And all of a sudden, the exact thing I wanted was suddenly available. And the other people weren't rude to me or anything. It's just maybe they were less qualified than this person. So trust me, being kind is the best way to go about. These people that call up and scream and complain, you're only making the person dig their heels in. It's just a bad way to do business. I admit, I'm equally frustrated when you spend 20 minutes on hold, the person picks up and says, "Oh, I have to transfer you." We've all been there. But that's not the employee's fault. You got to learn to differentiate that. And even though I'm not getting the care that I was promised when I signed on to this particular program, I understand there's a lot of factors in the background. So my two choices, again, is to write that complimentary email now or to bend over backwards so I can accommodate this person's schedule and then write them back and say, hey, this isn't working. Now, the other thing I notice is they're not so good at returning emails. I mean, we're trying to negotiate a time where we can get together and just discuss broadly how we're going to continue. And that's been going on for over a week, and I haven't gotten a yes or a no. Supposedly, next Thursday at 11 o'clock, stuff is going to happen, but I don't have a yes or no. The secretary hasn't sent me the confirmation, so I'm sitting here in limbo. That's an area where she could improve, because, like I said, I still don't know what's happening. But it's not a competence issue. I want to maintain that. She seems to be very in control, and I'm sure they wouldn't promote her just because she looks good in the company picture. But my conversations with her show she's highly professional. So, what do you think I should do? Should I request a transfer now to another person? Because remember, this is going to take months to put me in another program. And that's simply the way things are. There's waiting lists, and I'm kind of at their mercy at that point. And then there's waiting until we have the session and requesting it in person. Now, a little fact about Silverlight. I'm a little bit of a coward. I don't like to tell people bad things. Nobody likes to tell people bad things, although most humans do. So that's my situation. And I'm going to ask you to comment down below. What do you think I should do? Should I be direct up front and get it done now? Or should I give a second chance, and then if it's not working, just say, hey, this ain't working. Let's go with something else. Because honestly, I don't know which. And trust me, you have plenty of time to comment because apparently this is going nowhere at the present time. With that, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show, as self-indulgent as it was. If you did, please like, share, because sharing is caring. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Don't forget to click the bell icon for notifications so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. And we hope you have a fantastic day.